Dr. Nina Malik walked briskly through the hospital corridors. She had worked at Starlight Hospital for 5 years, and she knew every corner, every nurse, and every patient. Today, however, something felt unusual. The usually calm hallways were buzzing with whispers and hurried footsteps. As she passed the reception, she noticed a small crowd near the emergency entrance. Curious, Nina approached. A young nurse was speaking quietly to a group of doctors. "We have a patient who isn't responding to normal treatment," she said. "And there's something very strange about the case." Nina's curiosity grew. Strange cases were her specialty. She had solved several puzzling medical mysteries before, but something about the way everyone looked worried made her feel that this case was different. She pushed open the door to the emergency room and saw a man lying on a stretcher. He was in his early 40s with neat black hair and sharp features. His uniform suggested he had come from an office or an official job. But what caught Nina's attention was a small, tightly wrapped envelope in his hand. It was unusual for a patient to hold anything so carefully. "Hello, I'm Dr. Malik," she said softly as she approached. "Can you tell me what happened?" The man blinked slowly. His voice was weak, almost a whisper. I don't remember. Something happened. Outside. I just woke up here." Nina nodded. She could see that the man's vitals were stable, but his anxiety was high. "Don't worry," she said. "You're safe now. We will take care of you." As she examined him, she noticed that hospital staff were acting strangely. Some avoided looking at him directly. Others whispered to each other in corners. Nina had never seen such a reaction before. She frowned but continued her work. "Do you have any identification or personal items?" she asked. The man slowly opened his hand. The envelope was old, with a seal that looked official but unfamiliar. Nina carefully took it. The seal had a symbol she had never seen before, an abstract design that seemed almost like a puzzle. "Where did you get this?" she asked. The man shook his head. I don't remember." Nina felt a shiver of curiosity. She had always believed that small details often held the biggest secrets. Carefully, she broke the seal and opened the envelope. Inside were a few sheets of paper, filled with notes and diagrams. Some looked like maps. Others were sketches of machines or buildings. Her heart began to race. Something about these papers was unusual. They were not ordinary documents. They seemed to point toward a secret someone had gone to great lengths to protect. Just then, the hospital intercom buzzed. "All doctors, please report to the main conference room immediately. Emergency meeting." Nina carefully folded the papers and put them in a secure folder. She helped the man sit up and reassured him that she would return soon. Then she walked briskly to the conference room. Inside, the hospital director, Dr. Stevens, was already speaking to a group of senior doctors. "We have a very unusual situation," he said. "A patient has arrived with documents that may relate to a major public safety issue. We don't know the full details yet, and we must proceed carefully." Nina listened intently. Something about this situation felt bigger than just a hospital case. She felt a mixture of fear and excitement. The kind of excitement that comes when a mystery calls, and only someone brave and clever can uncover the truth. As the meeting ended, Nina returned to the emergency room. The man was awake, staring at the ceiling. I think someone is looking for these," he said quietly, nodding toward the folder. Nina nodded. "We will figure it out," she said. "You're safe here for now, but we need to find out what this all means." Outside the emergency room window, the city lights flickered. Nina had no idea that the events of tonight would change her life forever. A hidden secret buried in plain sight had entered the hospital. And it would take courage, intelligence, and teamwork to uncover it. Nina looked at the man and thought, "This is the beginning of something much bigger than any of us imagine." Dr. Nina returned to the emergency room with a sense of determination. The folder she held felt heavier than it looked. Inside were the mysterious papers full of strange diagrams, maps, and symbols. She placed it carefully on the counter next to the man, who was now sitting up and trying to calm his breathing. "My name is Amir," he said softly. "I don't know why I have these papers or why they are important, but I think someone wants them badly." Nina nodded. She had seen enough unusual situations in her career to know when a case was bigger than it appeared. "We need to understand these papers," she said. "Maybe they are a map, maybe a code. Either way, we have to be careful." Amir reached into his pocket and pulled out a small notebook. It was filled with cryptic notes and numbers. "I tried to figure it out," he said. But it's not easy. Every time I think I understand it, it changes. Nina studied the notebook. The numbers seemed random, but patterns began to emerge. Some numbers matched symbols on the papers in the folder. She realized that the documents were connected. Whoever made them wanted the information to remain hidden unless someone clever enough could solve it. "We need help," Nina said. "I can't do this alone," Amir nodded. "There's someone. A friend of mine. She is good with puzzles and codes, but I don't know if she can come quickly." Nina's mind raced. Time was critical. If someone was after Amir in these documents, every second counted. "We will find her," she said. "But first, we need to protect you and the papers." She called the hospital security and asked for a secure room. While the hospital staff moved Amir and the documents, Nina studied the diagrams more closely. Some of the sketches looked like buildings, but they weren't any ordinary buildings. They seemed to show secret rooms, hidden passages, and unknown machinery. "This is not just a puzzle," Nina whispered to herself. "This is something someone tried very hard to hide." Just then a nurse knocked on the door. "Dr. Malik, a strange man is asking about the new patient. He says he is a friend, but he seems nervous." Nina frowned. "I will handle it." She opened the door to see a tall man with glasses and a calm but serious expression. "Hello, I'm Leo," he said. "Amir called me. He said you might need help with this." He gestured toward the folder in Nina's hand. Nina studied him carefully. There was something in his eyes, intelligence and caution, like someone who had seen danger before. "You're here to help?" she asked. "Yes," Leo replied. "I work with codes and puzzles. What you have is unusual. I've never seen anything like it." Nina felt a wave of relief. Finally, they had an expert. "Good," she said. "We need to figure this out quickly. Mir doesn't know why these papers exist, and we need to understand their meaning before anyone else finds them." Leo took the folder and spread out the papers. He traced his fingers over the symbols and numbers. "This is clever," he said slowly. "Whoever made this wanted it to be almost impossible to read. But I think I see a pattern. There is a sequence here, and it leads to a location." Amir leaned forward. "A location, you mean? Someone buried something or left something important somewhere?" Leo nodded. "Exactly. And if we can decode it fully, we can find it. But we need time, and we need to be careful. Someone might be watching." Nina felt a shiver. This was bigger than she imagined. A hidden secret, a puzzle that could lead to something important, and people willing to do anything to keep it hidden. "We'll figure it out together," she said. "We can't let fear stop us." Leo smiled faintly. "Good, then let's start. Step by step." Outside the emergency room window, the night was calm, but Nina knew calm could be deceiving. This was only the beginning. The papers held secrets that could change everything. And now, the search for answers had begun. Amir watched Nina and Leo work. For the first time since arriving at the hospital, he felt hope. Maybe these two could help him solve the puzzle, uncover the secret, and keep them all safe. And deep in the city, shadows moved quietly, as if someone, somewhere, already knew that the game had begun. The hospital room was quiet except for the sound of papers shuffling and pens scratching. Nina, Leo, and Amir sat around a small table, their eyes fixed on the folder of mysterious documents. The dim light from the bedside lamp cast long shadows across the room, making the maps and sketches appear even more mysterious. Leo pointed at one of the diagrams. "See these symbols?" he said. "They repeat in a pattern. If we can decode them, they might show the exact location of the first clue." Amir leaned closer. "A first clue? You mean there's more than one?" Leo nodded. "Yes, whoever made this wanted to hide something big. They didn't leave it all in one place. This is just the start." Nina frowned. "But why would someone go to so much trouble? These sketches don't look like ordinary plans. They look secret." "That's exactly it," Leo said. "This is a puzzle. Whoever created it wanted only someone clever and determined to find the truth." Nina traced her finger over a section of the map. "This part looks like an old warehouse," she said. "I know a place on the outskirts of the city. It's abandoned now, but it matches the shape in the diagram." Leo's eyes lit up. "Good, that could be our starting point. But we need to be careful. If someone else is watching, we can't just walk in openly." Amir swallowed nervously. "Do you think they will come after us?" Leo shrugged. "We don't know. But it's better to assume we're not alone. Secrets like this always attract attention." Nina took a deep breath. She had faced medical emergencies, difficult patients, and challenging investigations before, but nothing like this. A hidden secret, a puzzle, and possibly danger. Yet she felt alive in a way she hadn't in years. "We need a plan," she said. "We can't rush in without knowing what to expect. Let's start with a safe visit during the day. I know the warehouse area. We can check it without drawing attention." Leo nodded. "Agreed, and we should document everything. Any detail could be important." For the next few hours, they worked silently, examining the papers. Leo drew lines connecting symbols and numbers. Nina compared the sketches with locations she knew. Amir remembered small details he had overlooked before, like strange markings he had seen around the city. Slowly, a picture began to form. "There," Leo said finally, pointing at a section of the map. "This symbol here means hidden entrance, and the numbers next to it look like coordinates." Amir leaned closer. "Coordinates? You mean—" "We can find a physical place using these numbers?" "Yes," Leo said. "If we're careful, this could be the first step toward discovering the secret." Nina felt a thrill run through her. She had solved medical puzzles before, but this was something entirely different. The stakes felt higher, the mystery deeper. "Tomorrow morning," she said, "we go to the warehouse. Quietly, carefully, and together." That night, Nina couldn't sleep. She lay in her small apartment, thinking about the papers, the warehouse, and the possible dangers. She had always been curious, but this curiosity carried a weight she had never felt before. Something big was hidden, and someone somewhere didn't want it to be found. Meanwhile, Amir stayed in a secure hospital room, restless. The documents were locked in a cabinet nearby. He wondered who had created them and why they had been left in his possession. The mystery was growing heavier, and he felt the pressure of the unknown. Leo, in his own apartment, studied copies of the sketches he had taken. His mind raced with possibilities. The symbols were clever, the maps precise, and the notes detailed. Whoever created this was careful, intelligent, and possibly very powerful. He knew that tomorrow's visit could reveal the first clue, or it could be a trap. The next morning, as the city slowly woke, Nina, Leo, and Amir met near the outskirts. The abandoned warehouse loomed in front of them, silent and still. The sunlight reflected off broken windows, casting long shadows across the cracked pavement. Nina took a deep breath. "This is it," she said softly. "Let's see what we can find." The three of them moved cautiously toward the entrance. Every step felt heavier than the last, filled with anticipation and a little fear. The secret that had been hidden for so long was waiting, and with every careful step, they were closer to discovering it. The warehouse doors creaked as they pushed them open. Dust filled the air, and the smell of old wood and metal filled their noses. Inside, shadows danced across walls lined with forgotten crates. "It was quiet, too quiet," Nina whispered. "Stay alert. The first clue could be anywhere." Amir nodded, his hands trembling slightly. Leo shone a small flashlight on the floor, revealing markings that matched the sketches. They had arrived at the start of the mystery, and somewhere in the dusty darkness the secret waited to be discovered. The warehouse was silent except for the soft sound of their footsteps on the dusty floor. Nina, Leo, and Amir moved slowly, shining their flashlights over the broken crates and abandoned machinery. Every shadow seemed to hide a secret, and every corner felt full of possibilities. Leo stopped and crouched near a pile of wooden crates. "Look at this," he whispered. He pointed to a series of small marks etched into the floor. They were faint but deliberate. "These match the symbols in the papers. Whoever made this left a trail." Nina knelt beside him. "It looks like a path, leading somewhere deeper inside the warehouse." She shined her light forward. There, near the back wall, a slightly raised wooden panel caught her eye. It was almost invisible under the dust and shadows. Amir's eyes widened. Could that be it? The hidden entrance? Leo nodded. Possibly, but we need to be careful. It could be trapped or simply difficult to open. Nina stepped closer and pushed lightly against the panel. It didn't budge. She tried again, pressing firmly while Amir and Leo assisted. Slowly the panel shifted, revealing a narrow passageway leading downward. A faint smell of earth and old metal drifted from the opening. "This must be it," Nina said. "The first clue is inside." They exchanged nervous glances but moved forward together. The passage was tight and dust swirled around their feet. Leo led the way, using his flashlight to scan for anything unusual. Nina followed, holding Amir's hand to steady him. At the end of the passage, they found a small hidden room. It was low-ceilinged, just big enough for the three of them to stand comfortably. In the center of the room was a wooden chest, old but sturdy. Its surface was scratched with symbols identical to those on the papers. Leo whispered, "This must be it." The first clue. Nina approached carefully. She noticed a small keyhole. "It's locked," she said. "Do we have a key?" Amir shook his head. "No, I don't have anything that fits." Leo examined the chest. "Sometimes the lock itself is part of the puzzle," he said. He studied the symbols etched into the wood. "Look closely. The shapes, the lines. They might form a combination or pattern." Nina crouched and traced the symbols with her fingers. Slowly, she noticed that some of the shapes resembled numbers and letters from the documents. "I think I see it," she said. The papers had instructions hidden in plain sight. "This could be the combination." Leo nodded. "Let's try it carefully." Together, they followed the instructions from the papers. They pressed certain symbols in order, sliding small panels and aligning marks. At first, nothing happened. Then with a soft click, the lock opened. The chest creaked as Nina lifted the lid. Inside, they found several items: a small metal box, a bundle of envelopes, and a notebook covered in dust. Amir leaned forward, his heart racing. This is incredible," he whispered. Nina carefully picked up the metal box. It was cold and heavy with no visible lock. "This might be the key to the next part of the mystery," she said. She opened it slowly. Inside was a set of coded papers and a strange device shaped like a compass, but filled with gears and dials. Leo examined the compass-like device. "This isn't ordinary," he said. "It looks like a tool designed to help locate something. Perhaps another hidden place. And these papers, they seem to give instructions or clues." Amir's eyes were wide with amazement. "I can't believe it. All of this, hidden here, waiting for us to find it." Nina looked at the three of them. "This is only the beginning. Whoever created this didn't want it to be easy. There are more secrets, more clues, and we need to be ready." The team sat down in the small room, studying the contents of the chest. Every piece felt important. Every paper, every tool could lead them closer to understanding the full mystery. Outside, the city was waking up. The sun cast light on the warehouse, but inside the team was surrounded by shadows and secrets. One thing was certain. The first clue had been found, but the journey to uncover the full secret was only beginning. Nina held the compass-like device in her hands. "We've taken the first step," she said. "Now we follow the trail and find out what this mystery really is." Amir nodded. "I never thought something like this could happen to me. But I'm ready to see it through." Leo smiled faintly. "Then let's prepare. The next clue could be anywhere, and we need to stay alert. This is just the start of an adventure none of us will ever forget." After discovering the first clue in the warehouse, Nina, Leo, and Amir returned to the hospital to examine their findings more carefully. The small metal box, the compass-like device, and the coded papers were spread across a large table in a quiet office. Every detail seemed important, and every symbol hinted at the next step. Leo studied the compass device. "It's not a normal compass," he said. "Look at the dials and markings. I think it's designed to guide us to a specific location, but we need to understand how to read it properly." Nina leaned over the device. "The coded papers might have instructions," she said. She carefully compared the notes with the symbols on the compass. Slowly, patterns began to emerge. Certain numbers and letters matched the dials, suggesting a direction, a distance, or a sequence of steps. Amir watched nervously. "Do you really think this will lead us somewhere?" Leo nodded. "Yes. Whoever created this wanted the next location to be found only by someone persistent and smart enough. This is designed to test us." Nina felt a mix of excitement and tension. The mystery had grown bigger than she expected. "We need to prepare before we go. This could be dangerous if someone else knows about it." They decided to leave the hospital quietly and head toward the outskirts of the city, where the coded papers hinted the next location might be. The compass device pointed them in a specific direction, and Leo calculated the distance using the patterns from the papers. As they walked through the streets, Amir kept looking around nervously. "Do you think anyone is following us?" he asked. Nina shook her head. "Maybe, maybe not. But we need to stay focused. Right now, the only thing we can control is what we do next." After a short walk, they reached a quiet part of the city filled with old buildings. The area was mostly abandoned. with broken windows and rusted gates. One building in particular matched a sketch from the papers, a small brick structure with an overgrown courtyard. "This is it," Leo said quietly. "The device points here." They approached the building carefully. The front door was locked, but the coded papers suggested a hidden entrance. Nina examined the walls and found a small panel covered in ivy. Behind it was a narrow door, just big enough for one person to slip through at a time. Amir looked anxious. "Are you sure this is safe?" Nina smiled reassuringly. "We've come this far. We just need to be careful and pay attention." One by one, they slipped through the hidden door and entered a dimly lit room. It smelled of old wood and dust. Shadows stretched across the walls and broken furniture lined the floor. At the far end, they noticed a staircase leading downward. "This must lead to the hidden location," Leo whispered. "The papers and the compass were pointing us here." They descended slowly, each step echoing in the narrow stairwell. At the bottom, they entered a larger room. It was dark, but Nina noticed a faint glow from the corner. Moving closer, they found a safe embedded in the wall. The symbols on the safe matched those from the chest in the warehouse. Leo examined the safe carefully. "This is clever," he said. "It's designed to open only if we follow the exact pattern from the compass and papers." Nina traced the symbols with her finger. "Let's do it step by step. No mistakes." Together, they carefully aligned the symbols, following the instructions from the papers and using the compass device for guidance. With a soft click, the safe opened, revealing a stack of envelopes neatly tied with string and a small wooden box. Amir's eyes widened. "More clues? Or something even bigger?" Nina picked up one of the envelopes and carefully opened it. Inside were letters and diagrams detailing a project that had been hidden for decades. It was clear that someone had gone to great lengths to protect this secret, and now Nina, Leo, and Amir were part of uncovering it. Leo smiled faintly. "This is more than just a puzzle. This is a record of something important, something someone didn't want to be lost or forgotten." Amir nodded slowly. "We're not just solving a mystery anymore. We're uncovering history." Nina looked at both of them. "Exactly. And we need to understand everything carefully. Each clue leads to the next, and we have to follow the trail to see the full picture." As they studied the contents, the room remained silent except for their whispers and the faint rustle of paper. The hidden location had revealed its first secret, but the mystery was far from over. The journey to uncover the truth had only just begun, and the next steps would take them even deeper into the hidden story. Outside, the wind moved through the abandoned buildings as if the city itself was watching them. Nina felt a thrill of determination. Whatever the secret was, they were ready to follow it wherever it led. The next morning, Nina, Leo, and Amir returned to the safe room in the hidden location. The envelopes and the wooden box from the safe lay on the table, waiting for their attention. Each item seemed to carry a piece of the puzzle, and every detail mattered. Leo carefully examined the wooden box. "This is not just a box," he said. "It looks like it can open in a certain way, but it's more than a simple container. There might be another hidden compartment." Nina leaned closer. "Let's check it step by step. Last time, following the instructions from the papers helped us. Maybe these notes will do the same." Amir picked up one envelope and opened it. Inside were sketches of machines, diagrams of levers, and small notes in a neat, unfamiliar handwriting. Some sketches looked like tools, while others resembled parts of a workshop. "These sketches, they look like a workshop," Amir said. "Somewhere someone built or fixed things in secret." Nina's eyes widened. "A hidden workshop? That makes sense. Whoever made these papers must have used it to create something important. And now the clues are leading us there." Leo studied the diagrams closely. "The location is not far from here. Look at these directions. It's written as coordinates, just like before. This is a second location, a workshop hidden for years. I think it might have the next clue or object we're looking for." Nina nodded. "We should go there immediately, but carefully. We don't know who else might be interested in this secret." The three of them packed the papers in the wooden box, leaving nothing behind, and followed the directions from the envelopes. The compass device helped them stay on track, guiding them through narrow streets and quiet alleys until they reached an old building on the outskirts of the city. The building looked abandoned, but Nina's sharp eyes noticed signs that someone had been there recently, fresh footprints in the dust and faint marks on the door. "This is it," Leo whispered. "The hidden workshop." Amir hesitated. "Are we ready for this?" It might be dangerous inside. Nina placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. We've come this far. We just need to stay alert and think carefully. The door creaked as they pushed it open. Inside, the workshop was surprisingly well kept. Old tools hung neatly on walls, and several wooden workbenches were covered with sketches, partially assembled devices, and small mechanical parts. Dust lay on the floor, but it was clear someone had been working here recently. This is amazing, Amir said. It's like stepping into a secret world. Nina walked slowly, studying the room. Everything here seems connected to the notes and diagrams. Whoever built this wanted to keep it hidden, but they also left clues for someone clever enough to find it. Leo examined a small device on one of the benches. Look at this. It's similar to the compass we found before, but more advanced. It might help guide the next part of the journey. Amir picked up a small notebook from a drawer. Inside were detailed instructions for building machines and solving mechanical puzzles. This is incredible, he said. It's like a secret workshop left behind to help someone find the truth. Nina smiled. Exactly. Whoever created this wanted to hide something important, but also to make sure it could be found by the right people. And now, we are those people. They spent the next few hours studying the workshop. Every tool, every sketch, and every device seemed to hold a small piece of the overall secret. Leo carefully recorded patterns and measurements while Nina and Amir compared them with the papers from the warehouse and safe. Finally, Nina noticed something unusual. A small trapdoor in the floor, almost hidden beneath a rug. Look at this, she said. This could lead to another hidden area, maybe the final part of the secret. Leo knelt and examined the trapdoor. Yes, the diagrams in the notes match this. Whoever built the workshop wanted this hidden, but accessible to someone who could solve the puzzles. Amir swallowed nervously. Do we go down there now? Nina took a deep breath. Yes, but we do it together, slowly and carefully. This is what the papers and workshop were leading us to. They opened the trapdoor and climbed down into a narrow, dark passage. Dust and shadows surrounded them, but the air felt charged with anticipation. Every step took them deeper into the mystery. At the bottom of the passage, they entered a room filled with even more tools, papers, and a large wooden chest. This was bigger than the workshop, a hidden place full of secrets waiting to be discovered. Nina looked at Leo and Amir. This is it. Whatever is in this chest could explain everything. Amir's hands trembled as he stepped closer. The secret, it's finally here. And in that quiet hidden room, surrounded by the tools, notes, and devices, the next part of the mystery was about to be revealed. The hidden room was silent except for the soft rustle of papers and the occasional creak of the floorboards. Nina, Leo, and Amir stood before the large wooden chest in the center, their hearts pounding with anticipation. They had followed the clues through the warehouse, the safe, and the secret workshop, and now the final revelation was within reach. Nina took a deep breath and knelt before the chest. She ran her fingers over the carvings etched into the wood. The symbols matched the sketches they had found in the envelopes, and she realized that the chest itself was part of the puzzle. Every lock, every mark, every detail had a purpose. Leo studied the mechanisms carefully. We need to follow the pattern exactly, he said. The chest was designed to open only if the sequence is done correctly. One wrong move and it might stay locked forever. Amir glanced nervously at the chest. What if we get it wrong? Nina gave him a reassuring smile. We've come this far. We just need to be patient and precise, step by step. Following the instructions from the notes, they pressed the symbols in the correct order, adjusted small levers, and aligned the carvings exactly as the diagrams indicated. The chest shivered slightly, and with a soft click, the lid slowly creaked open. Inside, they found a set of carefully preserved documents, maps, and a small metallic case. Nina reached in and lifted the documents. They were old but perfectly intact, filled with detailed plans and written explanations. It was clear that someone had gone to great lengths to hide these papers and protect them. Leo opened the metallic case. Inside was a compact device, delicate and precise, with gears, dials, and tiny screens. It looked like a combination of a compass and a calculator, but its purpose was not immediately clear. Amir held one of the maps. These diagrams, they show locations across the city. And look at this, they match the sketches from the other papers. Whoever made this, they planned everything carefully. They wanted someone to find it, but only if they were clever enough to follow all the clues. Nina nodded. This isn't just a puzzle. It's a record of someone's work, their discoveries and possibly inventions that could help people. They wanted it preserved and protected until the right person came along. Leo examined the device again. This could be a tool to access more hidden places or unlock more secrets. The notes mention areas that are no longer visible or have been forgotten. This device might guide someone there safely. Amir looked amazed. All of this, hidden for years, and we found it. I can't believe it. Nina placed a hand on the metallic case. It's more than just finding something hidden. It's about understanding it and using it wisely. Whoever created this wanted it to make a difference, but only in the right hands. Leo smiled faintly. And now those hands are ours. We've followed the clues, solved the puzzles, and stayed together through it all. The next step is to understand how it all works and what it truly means. Amir carefully spread out the papers across the table. There are diagrams for machines, instructions for inventions, and even letters explaining why each part was hidden. Whoever made this was brilliant and careful.
It feels like we're discovering a secret that was meant to be found, but only by the right people. Nina studied the maps.
These locations marked here, they might be places where the inventor left tools, documents, or even prototypes. If we follow these carefully, we can uncover everything they wanted us to see. Leo adjusted the device, and we will need it. It looks like it's designed to guide us safely through the hidden areas. Each step is a puzzle, each location a challenge. But we are ready. Amir looked around the room, filled with the hidden treasures of knowledge and invention. I feel unlucky. We found something incredible and we did it together. Nina smiled. Yes, and this is only the beginning. The chest gave us the first full view of the secret. The real adventure is understanding it, exploring the hidden locations, and making sure the work we found is used wisely. As they carefully packed the documents and the device, Nina realized how much they had grown. The journey had tested their patience, intelligence, and courage. Each discovery had led them closer to understanding a brilliant hidden mind, someone who had carefully planned every step. The room was quiet, but the sense of purpose filled the air. The secret had been revealed, but it was clear that more discoveries awaited them. Nina, Leo, and Amir knew that the story they were part of was far from over. They looked at each other with determination. Together, they would follow the remaining clues, uncover the hidden locations, and ensure that the brilliance they had found would be appreciated and used wisely. And somewhere, deep within the city, the mystery continued, waiting for the next careful steps of those willing to follow it. The hidden room, now carefully cleared and organized, felt almost alive with the presence of the discoveries inside. Nina, Leo, and Amir stood together, surrounded by the documents, maps, and the metallic device that had guided them through the puzzle. They had uncovered the main secret, but the journey was not over yet. The final step was understanding it fully and deciding how to use it wisely. Nina carefully spread the maps across the table. These locations marked here, they are all connected. Each one leads to a discovery the inventor wanted preserved. If we follow them carefully, we can see the whole story unfold. Leo adjusted the metallic device and compared it with the coded papers. The device will guide us safely to each site. It seems designed to protect the hidden inventions and documents from being lost or damaged. Whoever made this wanted someone persistent and careful to find everything. Amir looked around, a mix of excitement and nervousness on his face. I never imagined anything like this. We've found puzzles, hidden workshops, secret rooms, and now it feels like we're part of something much bigger than ourselves. Nina nodded. Exactly. And it's more than just finding things. It's about understanding them and making sure the knowledge is preserved and used properly. That was the purpose all along. They decided to follow the first location marked on the maps. It was a small abandoned building on the outskirts of the city, partially hidden by overgrown plants. Using the compass-like device, Leo carefully guided them to the exact entrance. The building, though weathered by time, held another small hidden room. Inside were more detailed instructions, carefully preserved prototypes, and notes explaining how they were used. Amir examined one of the devices. These inventions, they could help people, make work easier, or solve real problems. The inventor wanted them to be found, but only by someone responsible. Nina smiled. That's why this journey is important. We're not just solving a puzzle. We're continuing the work and protecting it until it can be used properly. For hours, they explored the locations, each one revealing more pieces of the secret. Some rooms held small machines, others contained papers filled with ideas, and a few had models showing how things worked. Every discovery deepened their understanding and filled them with awe. Leo paused in one of the rooms and looked at the maps again. Every piece fits together. The inventor left clues to show a bigger picture, not just individual inventions. They wanted someone to see how everything connects. Amir looked around, inspired. It's amazing. Whoever created this thought of everything, from the puzzles to the protection, and now it's ours to follow. Nina carefully documented each discovery. We have to keep everything organized. The inventor trusted someone to preserve this knowledge. We need to respect that trust. As the sun began to set, they returned to the first hidden room. It was quiet, but filled with the satisfaction of achievement. They had uncovered a brilliant mind's work, solved the puzzles, and protected the secrets. The journey had tested their courage, patience, and intelligence, but they had succeeded together. Amir smiled. I feel proud. We didn't just find things. We understood them, and we respected the journey the inventor left for us. Leo nodded. And this is only the beginning. The knowledge we've uncovered can make a difference if we share it carefully, help the right people, and protect the rest. That was the purpose of the puzzles, to find the right hands. Nina looked at both of them, a sense of peace and purpose filling her heart. We've solved the mystery, but we've also learned something important. Patience, teamwork, and careful thinking can unlock even the most hidden secrets, and when knowledge is shared responsibly, it can change lives. The three of them stood together, surrounded by the inventions, papers, and hidden devices. The city outside moved on, unaware of the secret journey that had unfolded within its quiet corners. But Nina, Leo, and Amir knew that something extraordinary had happened. They had uncovered history, solved a brilliant puzzle, and ensured the inventor's work would continue to inspire and help others. As they left the hidden room for the final time, Nina glanced back. The secret was never meant to be locked away forever. It was meant to be found by those who care enough to understand it. And now it's in the right hands. Amir and Leo nodded, their hearts full of excitement and determination. The journey had ended. But the story of the secret, the inventions, and the discoveries would continue to live, guiding those who were ready to learn, explore, and use knowledge wisely. Outside, the city lights glimmered. Inside, the trio knew they had completed a remarkable journey. They had uncovered the hidden truth, respected it, and ensured it would be preserved. Their adventure had started,